Hello friends, I'm Angie.
I'm Michelle.
We're Blue Heavens. In this video, we're going to talk about angel school.
Yes, in this school, you have to attend this school. This is not one of those, here's a sick day to this one.
Yeah.
No.
It was crazy.
It is crazy.
But we'll talk about all that and more in this video.
Stay tuned.
So, during our spiritual awakening, we started having a period of time where our dreams were now in a school. So I'd go to fall asleep and I was always very tired the next day because I was learning all night and I had no idea why I'm there. Michelle was there. There was 6 groups of 2, so there was only 12 people allowed in this class.
Yes.
And I pee a lot in the middle of the night.
Right.
And I would vanish in the middle of this class. So she'd be asleep and she'd be at the school and I would vanish because I have to pee. And beforehand the teachers would be like, no, Angie, no. And that's all I see is I like wake up to go pee and then I have to lay back down and try to get right back into the dream state because they were mad. They don't waste time. It's very strict. They are there to help us. So you have a writing that came from your higher guides?
This is Locaeus, and yes, you have to remember from the Holy Spirit's video, our energy as well as condensed, so we can channel. Our vibration would, you got to think about that.
Would we melt faces? Would you melt faces?
Yes, we would melt faces.
We don't want in our faces.
We don't want to, no. We don't want to. So we got to condense. So.
Thank you.
So we have as well our guidance, and so this is what is given to this writing, and what, as I asked them, what is for the highest good of this school that we may tell the humans to help teach humans. We are making videos. They are aware of this. So they gave a beautiful explanation.
And they pulled us back to angel school once we mentioned we were going to do this, because they're like, well, if you're going to do it, you're going to have to do it right.
And they did do that, and Michelle will talk about her experience, which was hilarious. And we'll talk about some of the teachers as well, because the teachers are very interesting. Yes. So I'm just going to read on that. Angel School is an astral dream world school for all ages experiencing a spiritual awakening or a new understanding or perspective not understood at this time. We teach basics for the newly awakened souls to teach right from wrong, with different assignments practiced in the dream state. There is no pass or fail, just a repeat to that soul until teaching is understood completely. Lessons 2 and up are for the ones embracing their newly awakened state and are craving more knowledge and wisdom. We teach these wonderful and curious souls right from wrong by learning forgiveness and bringing up past or current situations on which to practice these lessons. And I like to make a comparison to Jack Valentine videos. This is how they would be teaching you, as like a Jack Valentine video. So I wanted to put that because I thought that was a beautiful, and they're telling me to say this. So as I read this, they're as well giving information. So I wanted to say that. If you like watching, that's where Jack Valentine is. This is this lesson 2 and up. So this is where we're at. These particular group of teachings do take some time only because the human incarnation is a very stubborn being and thick-headed. Teaching is difficult because the human's ego is a stubborn and difficult energy which can and oftentimes cripple humans. So this process is brought with more hostility and unwanted human aggressions. Usually this is where 85% of our students leave voluntarily. I find that very sad. They come back as they are ready to return, but oftentimes will not. The human feels they control the game of life, forgetting they come here to learn from this creator from this realm. We just remind them the basics from their own planetary systems and review what they are truly learning. Are they grasping all this planet has to offer? What lessons, if any, are they learning? What more do they need to learn, or do we adjust the experience or just terminate the mission here on this planet? And we are not referring to what you call suicide. This act only resides in this planet and realm. It is not needed in other planetary systems. And when that's when they're saying that, they're not talking about the human suicide. We refer to terminating the mission by an early exit, in which case a quick, unexplained disappearance. How many people go missing? These humans are never found again unless they choose to come back. But more times than not, however, this is not the case. Angel School, as you humans are calling it, are teachers from all over the galaxy and the Essenes who still exist today, either here or by spirit in the astral planes. I myself am a teacher, and that is referring to my father, Loki. And I teach basic common sense, good judgments, right thinking. I remind you your purpose here and remind you that these missions are short here. So please grasp information and do something with it. Don't dilly-daddle. Each soul was given a purpose to be here, sanctified by each planetary superior. Each mission is very important, so these teachings are important to learn and grasp. Then teach, then go home and go at it again if you feel your mission wasn't to your liking. We don't punish you if it isn't. We just want each soul to gain all the wonderful and amazing opportunities offered here and get the most out of it too. So this divine school is for everyone if you're ready. If you aren't, that's okay. You still can come back and redo your mission until you learn your main lesson or lessons. So that is what they told us.
And that falls in line with the kinds of dream events. Like we used to go out to Bob Evans on Fridays with our parents before quarantine and stuff happened, and we would catch up on these dreams because it was around this time that we were having these dreams. I remember they wanted me to start remembering things from the dream to pull them into my reality. They wanted me to look for synchronicities, so things that were common themes, repeated themes throughout the day. So they started me with a notepad and a pen. I remember I saw a lot of Odysseys, but I spelled it wrong. I spelled it Odysseusy. So now every time I pass a minivan, they say, Odysseusy. They're making fun of me, and it's hilarious. But there was just things to do, and it was like we were learning things. I got kicked out of the angel school because I pee too much.
Right.
I was allowed to visit the courtyard, and I was allowed to visit my friend who was in it, and you were in it. You were still in it. But it was very strict, and it made no sense to me whatsoever. As I read the Bible, I started to hear of this Order of Melchizedek. So Melchizedek was a king of Salem, is what the Bible says, but it meant from Jerusalem. Mm-hmm. So I believe this is the new Jerusalem, is what was to come down, this spiritual Jerusalem that's always existed. It's the Order of Melchizedek. He is the priest of the God Most High, so he is God's priest. In Hebrews 6:20, it tells us that Jesus entered this order on our behalf, and that Jesus became a high priest forever in the Order of Melchizedek. Plus, I said there's six groups of two. That's 12 people. Jesus had 12 disciples. There was always this thing about 12. There's something about 12. Can you tell us what it is about 12?
12 is a very divine number.
Okay.
And that this is Locaeus. And that is just a divine number. Well, think about covens, groups. There's always 12. And King Arthur.
Oh, yeah.
Think of all of that. And
wow.
Yeah, so there's many things. So think about that. The round table and that. It's just a very holy number.
It's very interesting.
It's a very holy number, but it's an even number because we wanted an even and that. So, and Loki can, as we keep going, he is a teacher.
Yes.
And many of you have seen him.
So there's a section from the Dead Sea Scrolls that said Melchizedek appears from heaven as the general of the heavenly armies. He's a visible representative of God and the redeemer of the people of the Lord.
Yes.
Philo said Melchizedek is king of peace and God's own priest, and that his priesthood is self-taught and instinctive.
Yes.
So the teacher we had during this class was like Professor Snape in Hogwarts. That attitude of I will not put up with it. I mean, like I said, I got kicked out for peeing. I'm an older lady with a weak bladder, and they did not care. They were like, stop drinking so much water. Like, you need to be here. It's important. So this stuff is important. Honestly.
Just with Loki. And yes, we don't have time for this.
Yes.
You know you're falling asleep. We need you in here. And we needed you girls because Blue Heavens, we knew is in the future.
Yes.
We knew you girls had to be together to learn the information together. And it was very difficult. She's going to be channeling. You're going to be channeling. You guys are peeing. Oh, come on. This is not happening
You're
to me.
asking things of us that you need us to be there.
And the channeling was going to be coming up soon. And here are you girls peeing. Not going to sleep on time.
Not going to sleep on time. Michelle wasn't going to sleep on time.
She was staying up watching. I don't even know whatever she's watching. And I would try to get her to go to sleep energy-wise. She's so stubborn, but...
And they'd yell at me. They're like, well, she's not coming to class, and as soon as she gets here, you're going to have to disappear and pee.
You guys are considered one energy. So you, to me, was responsible for her. I didn't care.
Oh, that's right.
Yes. It was like a tag team. So finally, we were discouraged. If you remember right, we gave you different partners because I couldn't handle it.
Right, my partner got kicked out.
So did hers.
Oh, that's right.
He got kicked out too.
A lot of people just stopped coming too. So what happened to them? Were they not doing enough good?
They were not ready for that particular class. You girls had already got to level 1, and I'm like level, So I come in like Professor Snape. You watched that?
Yeah.
Her daughter Laura, she was watching Harry Potter first time, watched Professor Snape walk into the classroom, shut the windows, I'm not going to tolerate any bullshit. And she goes, and she's sitting right there, and she goes, Loki. I go, what? You. Oh yeah, school. Yeah. I said, what'd you do wrong? I said, so I told her, she said I was eating in class.
Yeah.
I'm like, we don't tolerate that.
No,
and she said, oh, you were mad at me. She said, my crunch was too loud and this was not divine. She said, but she was hungry in her dream and all she wanted to do was eat. And so we made her leave. I said, you stay in the class or you go eat, and she chose to eat. So I said, well, I kicked her out for a bit.
Yeah.
She's still not allowed back. So she figures it out.
Yeah, you were teaching accountability and stuff too.
As well. Be responsible for your own actions, right from wrong. So now we're talking about how strict I am and how much of an ass I am, which is great. Now let's say we give you an assignment. Now you come to us, we ask you, as providing you're allowed in. I'm not the only teacher, there's other teachers. But let's say you come, we ask you, what situation in the human experience are you having troubles with? What are you not grasping? And we will grab that information from you and we will have you relive it. Oftentimes, people have a lot of their dreams in school. I lost my key. I don't remember things. I'm driving naked. What is that about? And you don't wonder, but these are the fears that you got. So we make you relive it to understand it's not a fear. This is just stupid. It's stupid.
Yeah.
But some people don't even pass that. They freak out. I'm afraid of heights or whatever. And so we say, well, then jump off a cliff. And they're like, well, I'll die at the end. I'm saying, well, we'll find out. And we push them off. They don't die.
They don't.
That's a totally fictional thing. And we know if you've done that to Michelle mass times. It is funny on my part. Only because I love her. She's my twin. And it's just hilarious. And even though I know these girls, I was still just as strict as if they weren't. I wasn't going to tolerate it. And so now more recently, they found out about these videos being done. So I will bring Michelle forth for the dreams now, because I find this was funny what we did to her.
All right.
Because we're terrible.
You got your moment.
Okay, this is Michelle. What am I saying? Gotta ask you. Okay. That was awful. Really? Oh my God. Okay. I'm gonna kill him. I love him. So, I have a fear. This is one of my fears. So we're making this video. And when we're doing it, it is on unknown location. And known as Mom and Dad. They don't hear me channel. Okay? So I'm always like, are they going to come out while I'm in the middle of a channeling? Oh my God, like this. And understandably, we're their daughters, and it could be seeing a man come out of your daughter's, it could be, yes. So I understand, but this was a fear, so I didn't want to mention it. I hear Professor Snape. He goes, okay, let's practice this. I go, how? And they don't give you time to react.
No.
There's no time to react. So I'm in a situation where I'm in a crowded room, and Mom and Dad are there. And the only way I can talk is let Lucaeus talk. That's the only way I can talk. And I'm in a bad situation. I can't remember the situation I'm in, but if I don't talk, people are going to get hurt, but I have to talk, but it's Lucaeus. And Mom and Dad are looking at me, and they're just going this to me, and I'm like, I'm trying to make hand motions. And I keep hearing that's not the right. No,
That's not right.
So finally I hear Lucaeus come out, and he goes, finally she's understanding the mission, so this is what we can say. And I hear beeping dawn, and then so I get critiqued. You should have done a lot faster. You should have reacted faster. So basically everybody died because you weren't going to channel Lucaeus. And I thought a little bit extreme, but they're trying to make a point.
Right.
And so then since I didn't learn it, now they upped the ante. So now I'm going to channel, I don't know which one. They just said, once again, they go, you didn't learn that lesson. So again, they will throw you back until you put it together. So I'm on a mountainside, and I'm by myself, except Mom and Dad, and we're like, and here's Angie, Scott, her husband, my kids, and I'm not quite sure what's going to happen, but I'm not feeling this is going to be a really good ending here, because I'm like a cliff here, and they're using my fear of heights, and so I'm hearing again, if you want to live, you need to sit there and warn your parents of something coming, and I'm like, then all of a sudden I see like this boulder like Indiana Jones, and it's like, are you kidding on this mountain? Where is this coming from? but they don't care. They're just, so, and then in your dream, you don't really care. You're just,
Right.
my first thought is them, it's coming this way. And I can't speak. Once again, I can only have one come through. So what was my fear? It's going to be Loki that comes through. And guess who it was?
Yeah.
And I hear him, and he goes, say it. And he's not happy, because I'm like, I'm doing the whole turnaround thing. Like, turn, and I know they're logically not, but you're not thinking logic.
Right.
It's fun stuff. I just go, there's something behind you. Then I hear Loki go, the potty word, and then, fudge. And he goes, oh. And in my body, so I have yet to pass because it's a fear. And until I do it, it's going to it's going to go up and up and up, because it is a fear I have of mom and dad. And I was like, why? And they're like, you never know. You just need to be able, don't have a fear of this. This is stupid. So this is the kind of things they will do, but they up it.
And I have a thing they did to me in real life, so not in the dream state. So they do things in the dream state, and then they test
As
you
well here.
So
yes.
I went to your son's graduation at Crossroads.
Yes.
And there was a lady that talked to me in the bathroom because she liked my outfit.
Yes.
And really super nice lady, had been afraid to leave the house, hadn't left the house in a long time. She was kind of afraid.
Yeah.
And we had just gone to Five Below because you got $100, and we went and we bought whatever kind of spirit gifts we could get for this $100 that she came across, and we had it in a bag, and I had it in my car. And I felt like I needed to go get one of the journals and hand it to her. And it was super weird. So I was like, that's weird. I'm not doing that. Like, I'm with family and stuff, right? So, and then I kept hearing, like, why don't you get it? Like, you can't ignore us. You know we're in here. You know, and they're to tell me all these times that they've helped me. Why won't you listen? Why are you acting like you don't hear us? And I was like, I don't know. Like, I'm afraid to do it. And they're like, just go do it. So I was like, fine. I told my kids, I'm going to go be a weird person. I'm going to go be weird. I'm going to go get a book and hand it to a stranger and tell her that God loves her. And they're like, all right, go do it, Mom. So I go and get it. And now the lady is talking to somebody. She's not someone to talk to.
Yeah.
And now they're like, if you would have got it when we would have asked, she would have been free. But since you didn't do it when you were supposed to, now you have to wait. So now I'm standing behind her with this book, right? Looking like a fool. And she finally turns around, and I was just like, I don't even know what I said. Like, I try to help people. We have spirit gifts, and I feel like God wants you to have this journal. And she looked at me like, what are you talking about? And it's like, just like, this is for you, like, from God. Like, God loves you. And I, like, went upon my way, and she sent me a text afterwards. I don't remember how we traded numbers. I think it's because of that.
Yeah.
I think after that, she wanted my number, and she sent me a thank you. And I was glad I did that thing. I was glad I got over the fear of looking like a big fool, because I did. I looked like a weirdo the whole time, but she needed that. I got to help somebody, and we got to, like, put one of these gifts, because we just went and bought whatever, and all those gifts had a purpose. They all had a home.
And it was weird, because in my house I live in currently, somebody just happened to come pull in the driveway. I didn't even know these people. I had a great big twisty slide from when my kids were little, and they could see it from the road. Pulled in the driveway, and talked to my now ex, and he comes in the house, and he goes, they want our slide. And I go, he said, they're very nice people, but they want our slide. Now, prior to that, which was so weird, I had an angel school experience where they said, if you're given money, what would you do with it? But in this one, I passed it.
Oh, that's super
passed
weird.
it.
So it started with
angel school, and I passed it.
That's even weirder.
And I had passed this particular
so
one.
It was like made for that lady.
It was made for that lady. It manifested to her because I passed it, and which was so I passed that experience because I love to get. That is something the channeling. Yeah, I shouldn't be, but that in front of other people, I don't. If I don't know you, I don't.
Yeah.
But this was beautiful. The giving, I love that. Yeah. So I passed it in school. They said, hands down, you did fantastic. And so then that next week, she just comes in, so sweet. My ex said, she's so beautiful. And so I said, well, I can't do that. I heard say, what did you dream? What did you learn? To, if you're going to give, they're going to feel better to give something in exchange.
Yeah.
So I told him, I said 20. I'm just 20, because I felt better. So sweet people. So he comes back in, and he goes out, he talks to them. He comes back, and he had the money in his pocket. And so he went out, helped him whatever, the slide, and comes back in, and he goes, this is for you, because I told him about the dream I had. And he goes, this is divine. And this is divine. So I'm thinking it's a 20. I'm honestly, I think it's a 20.
Right.
And he said, so I said, oh, I'll make to the 20. He goes, Michelle, look at it. It was 100. And I immediately messaged and I said, divinely given.
Yep.
So we took that 100, we went to Five Below,
Yep.
we got gifts for people that it was needed for.
Yeah.
Because we
just randomly picked things, and everything ended up having a place. I have a journal of what we bought and who it went to.
Yes, and it was the most, and then Locaia stopped us right at before.
Right.
He said, done.
And we were at 100.
We were
Right?
like 99.
Yeah, 99 something.
Right, with tax.
Yeah, and we had a friend with us, and he got to pick out a thing or two.
Yes, and he was amazed because Locaia was trying to show him
Yes.
how this works and that, because
Yeah.
he was looking at Locaia like that,
Crazy.
and rightfully so.
Yeah.
And he got to pick, but the joy that filled him, he needed to feel
Yes,
that
he
joy.
needed that. He needed to be a part of something like that.
Yes.
Do something like that. That was
Yes.
fun.
It was fantastic.
You could go do that. You could drop off something to a Cincinnati Children's well, I don't know about that. You might have to call because they're cleaning policies and
Yes,
stuff.
yes.
But there's places we can help, and just little things like that. Just a journal for someone to write their thoughts, to get it out of this and out into something
Right.
else, away from them, to help somebody is huge. And
Yes.
I hate that I had to go to angel school to learn to do these things, but I did. But that's what it took. So I'm here to, if you have weird dreams in an angel school, maybe this is what you're doing.
Right.
Are you trying to change your life? God's trying to help you change your life.
And you come to this realm, you don't understand what you're coming here for. Because the veil of forgetfulness.
Right.
Because if you can remember everything, what's the point?
Right.
So you're here to re-experience finding the light. You're here to experience this from your planetary experience, and we're all going to have a different perspective.
Yes.
And all they're doing is reteaching what we already know from our planetary. We are, can I say what planetary we are from?
Sure.
Pleiades. We're from Pleiadian. And that is who they're, and the ones that the beings, except for Locaeus, and that because he's already tapped his foot,
Yeah.
they are Pleiadian. So when I'm channeling them, and you're channeling, that's where they're channeling, this Pleiades, except for Locaeus, that's a whole other, but what they're doing is reminding you of your heritage, your unique, your perspective of this realm. What can you bring to this realm?
Yeah.
Because when we're coming here, we have a mission, but we have to go by our superiors from our planetary experience, whoever that is, because you don't want to waste the time. You want it's precious. So we go as a reminder, like a tick here, and do this. I get a lot of this from Loki. I get a lot of that when we're in school. Because time is precious, and you only got this little bit to be here. So you dream this in astral, because I asked Loki, why astral? Why can't there just be like that? Because your higher self will remember. Even if you don't remember the dream, you'll remember it.
Yeah.
Whether from right or from wrong, whatever choice, and that little voice that pops in your head to do the right thing. And that's probably you were even to angel school. And if you had the wrong, and you filled a wrong choice, making that judgment, I wasn't the right choice. Well, what was your answer in angel school? Maybe you, and then what they try to do is you experience it first there.
Right.
And pass it and come here to make love. And if you pass it, the dreams are wonderful. I notice when you pass a lesson, the dreams are peaceful. But if you don't, they just up the ante till you pick it up.
Yeah.
But that's for us, because we want that. We really need teachers that are like that to come here. But that's why they teach it astrally.
Yeah.
And so that's why when they want to teach, that's why they do it like they do it. Time is precious, and they don't care if you have to pee.
Yeah.
And you're sleeping in, as they told us. But had they not, channeling would have been a whole. I can't imagine not having that schooling
For real.
without the channeling, because that was and that's how we learned a lot about them, was through that.
Yes.
Because otherwise,
And
we would have
working
been,
with them. We
and
were
working
working
with
with them.
one-on-one.
Right.
Except for Marcus, because Marcus is not a part of
Right.
that. For us, it's just Loki and Locaeus. Locaeus, you would probably see, he's at the very end, and say you did not succeed. There's no pass or fail, but let's just say in their terms you didn't succeed. Well, you'll see Locatus. He's the one that reassures you you're okay. It's okay. We'll try again. But he's that calming, because after we all get humans, like I didn't do it right because we are so aimed to please.
Right.
He comes in and just makes sure you're okay. That don't go home, don't wake up sad.
Right.
That's not the mission.
Right.
So that's really, I think that's beautiful to teach.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that. So it's like, what's
So have you been to angel school?
Yes.
Do you know what we're talking about? Did you know what it was when it happened to you? Where you're like, well, I know it was the Order of Melchizedek. Do you remember it? Do you remember the teachers? I would love to know what other people brought back with them from this astral realm back to Earth, with what kind of memories we have, because we've got some good ones. I know you guys have got to have some good ones too.
Yes, because they're wild. Yes. And that the journals I go through now, and these were all experiences that had they not taught us. Right.
And I read recently in a book, I think it's Jesus in the Essenes by Dolores Cannon, and it was talking about these beings that are here to help us.
Yes.
And how they're called watchers. That how if one person can listen successfully to the watchers and bring their wisdom down here, that it can change the hearts of a nation at the very least. When you read things like that and you see how powerful this message is, you want to get it out to people. You want people to know, again, it's free. It feels good. It doesn't harm you in any way. It just benefits you. Mm-hmm. Everything else is... Religion has hidden all of this beautiful stuff that is within spirituality. Mm-hmm. We need to start embracing spirituality. We need to not want God to stay up there and not come down here. We need to want to go up to the top of the mountain and communicate with God. We need to want that. Why don't you want that? What are you afraid of? Do you not believe it? What aren't you believing? How can we help you? Is there a block in your way between you and God? If so, ask us something. We will ask any of these energies how we can help you get past that block and step into love.
This is Loki. Leave your cave.
Yeah.
Just leave your cave.
Leave your cave, absolutely.
Leave your cave. And don't be, and that is the best analogy that I can come up with. Leave your cave.
Yeah. Come forth.
Come forth, Lazarus. And that is why we chose the name Lazarus. Yeah. Is that, and you learned that name in where, Angela?
Right, in angel school.
Because we knew that the cave,
yes,
they hadn't found out about my cave and where I dwelt.
Right.
They know about my darkness because they weren't prepared for all of that. So we had to one-on-one Locatus. He's the easiest to, but me, a little bit more.
And I have a drawing I did of you when you first came out, when we called you Ranger.
Right, you did call me Ranger.
We called you Ranger at first.
Yes.
I have a picture that I drew of you. It's not great because I'm not great at drawing faces. Mm-hmm. But it looks like you, and I want to show that to people, so I'll have to pull that up. I'd like to show it to you too, because it looks like you. And if you watch the Loki series, it looks like the actor Tom Hiddleston. And I didn't know it was Loki before I made this picture. Right. I didn't know. I thought it was a Ranger, and I didn't watch Marvel movies. I did not know. Right. I think it is a neat little thing because it kind of pulled from angel school. I can put fire behind you. This was our angel school video. Sorry, I got hot. It got hot all of a sudden, kind of humid out here.
Oh, that's because you're talking about me.
That's what it was. It's like, oh my God, Tom
Loki,
Hiddleston.
Tom Hiddleston, Loki. Oh. By the way, Michelle, I hate it.
Know that you are unconditionally loved by the creator of the universe.
And this is Marcus, and I do not look like the actor.
No, yeah,
I look totally different, so that's a kind
of.
And
know that we love you. God loves you. Everything is beautiful.
It is most indeed beautiful. Gorgeous.
So we will see you in our next video.